These planes have been gathering dust outside of Seattle for more than a year and a half. Soon, America's biggest aircraft manufacturer will finally be able to deliver them to customers.
Today, we took the final steps to enable the Boeing 737 MAX to safely return to commercial service.
In an order issued on Wednesday, the FAA said inspectors will need to check every plane before they're cleared to fly. Airlines must also ensure their pilots get the proper training before they get in the cockpit. The 737 MAX was grounded in March of last year after fatal crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. In the investigations that followed, Boeing was found to have hidden technical issues as the company rushed to bring its plane to market.
They were the horrific culmination of a series of faulty technical assumptions by Boeing's engineers, a lack of transparency on the part of Boeing's management, and grossly insufficient oversight by the FAA.
Boeing says it's addressed the problems that led to the crashes, and regulators say they've improved the way they supervise the company's operations. That means the 737 MAX will remain under intense scrutiny.
Not a day goes by that I and my colleagues don't think about the victims and their families.
Boeing estimates the ordeal has cost it $20 billion. More than 400 orders for 737 MAX jets were canceled due to the grounding. The crisis has been compounded by the pandemic, which has resulted in the collapse of global air travel demand. Boeing's on track to deliver just over 100 planes in 2020. 2 years ago, it sold 806. And the prospect of getting back to that volume looks dim.
50% of business travel and over 30% of days in the office will go away. It's not the gold standard that, yes, you flew all the way here to sit in front of me, that you can do the virtual connection, that it will be a very high threshold for actually doing that business trip.
The International Air Transport Association predicts that air travel will not return to pre-pandemic levels until 2024. For Boeing, that means a long-haul journey to recovery. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
All right, let's get more on this from Hassan Shahidi. He's the president and CEO of Flight Safety Foundation and joins us now from Alexandria, Virginia. Good to have you on the program with us. These planes were grounded for almost 2 years. Talk to us about what was involved in the review process to ultimately clear the 737 MAX for flight.
Yes, well, this has been the longest and the most comprehensive certification process in history. One that involved numerous investigations. In addition to learning from the Lion Air flight and the Ethiopian airline accident reports, there were numerous investigations and reviews conducted over the past 20 months to figure out what went wrong, to look at how the aircraft was originally certified, and what changes would need to be made to safely bring the aircraft back into service. These reviews involved Boeing, the FAA, involved working with other regulators and experts from around the world, and Boeing has now implemented and FAA has approved a series of fixes to the aircraft systems, as well as enhanced training for the pilots.
Mm-hmm. So what happens next? Because it's not like people will start getting on these airplanes tomorrow and they'll be in the air. There still is more that needs to happen, correct?
Absolutely. There's a lot more work to be done before the MAX actually begins to carry passengers again. The FAA must still approve the pilot training procedures that have been approved for each of the airlines that are going to be flying the MAX. And the FAA has to approve the updates to the software. The FAA also needs to make sure that the maintenance of these aircraft that have been stored out there for all these months are up to date. Also, there are other regulators that would have to also follow with their own certification and approvals so that these aircraft can fly in other countries.
What's the cost to Boeing for these airplanes to be sitting idle on tarmacs for 2 years? And not just that, but the cost to Boeing's reputation because of these 2 fatal crashes?
Absolutely. Well, the impact has been significant to the industry, and the costs, I think, as in your report, to billions of dollars, not just to Boeing, but to airlines around the world, the costs include grounding, compensation to the customer, storage costs, redesign costs, and so forth. So the cost definitely has been enormous.
These two fatal crashes killed 346 people. Do you think people will trust that this airplane is safe? And what will it take for Boeing to convince people that they can get on board the 737 MAX and feel safe in the air?
Yes, I think it's natural for the public to feel hesitant at first. I think they will come around as more and more of these flights are completed safely. There is going to be a lot of communication with the public, and importantly, the regulators from around the world will need to be working together as they unground the MAX. And of course, the world is watching with regulators, and they're watching and making sure that the MAX can actually operate safely and trust can come back to the MAX.
All right. Thank you for your time, Hassan Shahidi in Alexandria, Virginia.